You probably already know that the Valorant Partnership Program, aka franchising, will be implemented for the esports scene next year. But what will ultimately change for pro players and for you as a casual gamer? Welcome back to Esports Driven, and today we will break down everything we know so far about the brand new Valorant franchising, and the actual impact it'll have on the game. For those of you who don't know what franchising is, let us introduce it to you. In 2023, the ecosystem of Valorant will have 4 major tiers of competition: in-game competitive system, challengers, international leagues, and global events. The first one will be for amateur teams, like with your friends for example, allowing them to advance to challengers. Then from challengers to international leagues, and finally to global events, the most prestigious. There will be 2 different types of teams: franchise teams who are directly partnered with Riot, and the most common, Tier 2 teams. Let's dive into Tier 1 first. This tier regroups the 10 tip-top teams of each region, including Americas, EMEA, and Pacific. These teams will be part of the Valorant Champions Tour for many years to come. Plus, they will receive income from certain cosmetic sales inside of Valorant, maybe some kind of team skin bundle or player cards and sprays. They will earn $600,000 at the start of the year and can earn up to $1 million each season depending on their tournament results. There won't be any removal of the teams if they're performing poorly. This is a big deal for esports organization that assures abundance and a bright future in the fast-growing Valorant's esports scene. Every single organization was allowed to send applications to be part of this list of teams. Riot then decided which ones would be accepted based on precise criteria around the value, the community, and the players themselves. The performance of these teams in past events and tournaments was not a factor in selecting the partnered teams. The fact that only 10 teams per region made franchising means that many players will be unemployed until they find a new team. For example, let's take the Optic roster. Given that the organization didn't make it into the Partnership League, their insane players will want to join franchise teams like NRG, Sentinels, or Cloud9, and push out the players that currently occupy these spots. Many players will be pushed down to the Tier 2 scene. Here are all the teams that made it to the Valorant franchising program. Some were well-known structures in Valorant's top tiers such as 100 Thieves, Sentinels, Fnatic, or DRX, but others were not receiving as much attention or were not even competing in Valorant yet. Carmine Core, Made in Brazil, or Talon Esports for example. On the other side, we can note the absence of famous teams like Optics, FPX, G2, or even FaZe. The big question around these organizations is whether they'll take part in Valorant's Tier 2 or completely leave the scene. The Tier 2 scene will be a key factor in determining the success of Valorant esports, as there needs to be a place where the teams that didn't get franchised can compete. Without it, these teams will have no other choice than to completely leave the Valorant Pro scene. First, let's talk about challengers. Quote, organized competition spanning more than 20 leagues around the world and culminating the Ascension tournaments where regional champions are crowned. Basically, the Tier 2 scene regroups all the teams that didn't make it through franchising and will battle from January to May to earn tickets for the Ascension tournament. This brand new Ascension event will take place later in July, where you'll see dozens of squads compete on LAN for regional pride and promotion into the international leagues. One team from each 3 regions will then win a spot for the major events of the 2 next years, 2024 and 2025. This is going to be a huge tournament for Tier 2 teams. By 2027, Riot Games plans to make 42 teams, 14 in each region. Starting in 2026, there are plans to promote 2 teams per region to international leagues instead of just 1 via Challengers Ascension. The last but not least part of franchising is the brand new path to Pro, which will be implemented into the game before the end of the year. This will allow you and your friends to compete on in-game tournaments to earn cosmetics and a chance to face the lowest ranked teams of challengers. Basically, the very best teams from these online events will get a chance to compete in official matches and prove themselves against Tier 2 teams. If you win against these pro teams, you'll prove yourself as a strong force and get attention from esports organizations. If you have an amateur Valorant team and want to try your chance to reach the professional level, you should definitely prepare for this upcoming opportunity. We'll keep you updated on that, so make sure to subscribe to not miss out on future videos. Overall, we can say the franchising program is a positive change for Valorant's medium to long-term success. The Tier 1 scene of each region will regroup the very best players in the world and give the teams a clear and bright future. The Tier 2 scene will give opportunities for the best teams to get into the VCT and get a spot in the franchise league to compete against the top teams. Plus, everyone will soon be able to play in online tournaments where you will have a chance to rise up to face challenger teams and make your way onto the professional stage. Do you think you have what it takes to compete against the Tier 2 teams? Do you know what things actually separate a high-level player from a professional? We've created a guide explaining what it takes to compete at the highest levels of the pro scene. You can check it out by clicking the video on the screen. Enjoy our content, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.